Okay, this is factoring trinomials. This is my favorite lesson in this whole unit. We usually, instead of saying factoring trinomials, we refer to this as Trident method. Because when we're finished with it, it kind of looks like the trident from one of your sea gods from Greek mythology. Okay, so to start this, we put our invisible 1 in front of the x. And you take the first term times the last term. So first term times the last term. So in this case, that's 1 times 12. So then you find the factors of 12. So the factors of 12 are 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. We are looking for the factors that will add or subtract to make 4. So if you pick 2 and 6, and you add 2 and you subtract 6, you would get a negative 4. So you finish it off by saying x times x would give you x squared, add 2, subtract 6. So this was just like the last lesson where we are doing distributive property in reverse. We are undistributing. And if you went ahead and used the distributive property and multiplied this back out, you should get exactly what we started with. So let's look at another example using the Trident method. So this one says m squared plus 12m plus 32. So remember, the 1 is in front of here. 1 times 32 is 32. So we want all of the factors of 32. So it's 1 times 32, 2 times 16, 4 times 8. We are looking for the factors that will add or subtract to 12. Well, 8 plus 4, so positive 4, positive 8 would equal 12. So m and m plus 4 plus 8. And that gives you both of your factors. Okay, let's skip to this last one on this row. So can you factor when they're in reverse order? Yes. Is it difficult to factor when they're in reverse order? Absolutely. So let's switch it around. So we're going to take the x squared, the negative 10x stays in the middle, and remember in front of this is the plus sign, so plus 9. So now we start from the beginning. This is invisible 1. Take 1 times 9 and get 9. All of the factors of 9. So 1 times 9, 3 times 3. We want the factors that will add or subtract to 10, negative 10. So we have a negative 1 minus 9 would give us negative 10. So that's x and x. Bring down the negative 1 and the negative 9. Okay, so let's move on to this one. Now this one's a little bit different because we don't have to put the invisible 1 in front of it. We still do the same thing. Take the first term times the last term. So 2 times 2 is 4. We want to find the factors of 4. So it's 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. And we want those factors to equal 3. So if we took 1 minus 3, we would get, how about 1 minus 4? That would be better. 1 minus 4, we would get 3 using this one right here. Okay, so just like before, this time it's 2x and 2x. Now here's the problem. If you were distributing and you took 2 x times 2x, you would get 4x squared. That's not what's listed there, but that's okay. So we know that we have an extra 2. We'll just have to make sure that we get rid of the extra 2 in a minute. So we have a plus 1 and a minus 4. Now you look at these. Remember, we have an extra 2. You need to find the one where you can factor out the extra 2. So if we divide this by 2, so here's my extra 2 that we're going to divide out, then we get 2x plus 1, and then this divides here and here. So that gives me x minus 2, because 2 over 2, 2x over 2 is 1x, negative 4 over 2 is negative 2. So anytime you have a leading coefficient, anytime this number is not 1, then you know you're going to have to take that number out at the end because it's going to be extra. So let's go down here to this one. So similar to before, this one's in reverse order. So let's put it in the correct order. 2y squared plus 11y plus 18. So 2 times 18, 36. Let's list all the factors of 36. There are a few more of these. So 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 8, and 6 times 6. So now we need something that together make 11. Well, 36 minus 1, not 18 minus 2. 12 minus 3 is 9. 8 plus 4 takes me to 12. And 6 plus 6 takes me to 12. How about making this 4 times 9? That would be better. So now 9 plus 4 is 11. So perfect. So plus 4 plus 9. But that's not where we were going, were we? Not 13. We wanted 11. So that still doesn't take us to 11. So it doesn't look like we have anything here. So when that happens, we write no real factors. And we will learn that you can factor this, but we're going to end up with a square root as an answer, and that's okay. Now I want you to pause the video for a moment, and I want you to go back to the last lesson that we were in because we skipped a few, and I want to make sure that we address these. I'm going to erase this for a second. So remember how we talked about we were going to do these when we got to the next lesson? That's because we can do these exactly the same way that we just learned. So to work a problem like this, we have m squared. So the difference is it doesn't have that middle term, but that's okay. If it's not there, we can make it 0. So plus, oops, helps if I don't have the eraser, plus 0m minus 100. So we take 1 times 100. We want the factors of 100. So 1 times 100, 2 times 50, 4 times 25, 10 times 10. We want it to equal 0. So if I took plus 10 minus 10, I should get 0. So that's m plus 10, m minus 10. Okay, so let's look at this next one. So we have 9x squared plus 0x minus 4. Okay. 4 times 9 is 36, and we've already had to list these. This should go a little more quickly. 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, whoops, 4 times 8, and 6 times 6. So it looks like if we had plus 6 minus 6, we would have 9x plus 6 and 9x minus 6. Now remember, we have an extra 9. We have to get rid of an extra 9. Well, 3 times 3 is 9. So if I divided this one by 3 and I've divided this one by 3, then I could get rid of, because 3 times 3 is 9, I could get rid of my extra 9 right here. So remember, we're going to do both of these. I'm going to have to divide both of those. So we get 3x plus 2. Oops. And the same thing here. We're going to have 3x minus 2. Okay, so now go back to your to the lesson again. You have plenty of these that we can practice on in class, and then you can do all of the review problems.